I've got a very special guest on the program today, Karen Petersen, who was of the Young Doctors fame way back a long, long time ago. And we'd like to welcome Karen to the lunch break. And the reason why we've got her on the program is because we've got the release of the first 250 episodes of the Young Doctors. Hello, Karen, first off.
Hello, John. So nice to meet you.
Thank you, and you too. Now, can you believe, Karen, that the first 250 episodes, it's 6,250 minutes of viewing time.
I know, because I have my collection here.
She's got her collection already.
The collection one. For me personally, it is very important that collection number 2 gets released, because I'm not coming in until episode 333.
Oh, right, okay.
So if it's only this, and of course, but this has to sell well enough so that Via Vision can say, okay, it is worth going for the collection, the second collection. But if nothing of mine comes through, and this is not my ego speaking, but it is my ego speaking, then quite vital stories would be missed. And one of the vital story was that I, as Erica Shaw, and Alfred Sander, as my husband is probably, we did the MS story. Erica got MS, and a huge nationwide campaign was raised to have the key of hope to unlock the mystery of MS. And all these years later, the mystery is still there. It hasn't been unlocked, and it may help to bring back awareness and maybe even do something again to launch something to help MS, because it's still here and it's
excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Well, look, let's backtrack a little bit and then we'll come up to, we'll catch up with you. You've gone miles ahead of me there. So as you say, you played Erica Hoffman in the series. And she was a rather mysterious lady from Germany who ended up marrying the suave senior surgeon, Dr. Raymond Shaw. Now, as you say, Erica was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and that led you and also Alfred to go out and tour Australia, appearing in community service announcements to promote the Key of Hope campaign. That must have been fabulous for you.
It was fantastic. And Channel 9 was very, very helpful, because they it was a community announcement, and they paid for the recording and for the time, and so they were supporting this entire thing. And it raised, in those days, it raised $90,000 for the MS Society. And our wonderful producer, Alan Coleman, it was a story to his heart. He had arranged it all. And so when he got the appreciation plaque, and we got our appreciating keys of hope, and welcoming us to the MS supporting family, it felt like having done something, well, we were still supporting, and I felt quite honored and
that's wonderful. Now let's backtrack a little bit more and talk about you were born in Germany, of course, and you arrived in Australia, not speaking a word of English, but you soon picked up the language. Now, tell me a most interesting story off air about when you first arrived here.
Yes. The plane landed, and out I stepped, the 50 Deutschmark immigrant who could not speak English. And I saw this kiosk, and on the top big letters was written gifts, GIFTS. And I freaked, because gift in German means poison. Oh, and I'm saying, I'm in this country, I don't speak the language, and they sell bloody poison. How am I going to get out of this trap?
Oh, dear me. Oh, gosh. You worked in theatre in Germany, I believe?
Yes, in the Thalia Theatre in Hamburg, I started my training. And so when I came to Australia, I wanted to continue it. That's why I had to learn English very quick, because for a little while I was with Hayes Gordon at the Ensemble Theatre. And but my wonderful English gave me my first television gig, which was Channel 10's New Faces, 1968, with John Mao. And I believe you did one too, John.
I did, yes, but I'm more interested in hearing about because you've got a very funny little anecdote about that.
Yes, well, I grabbed my little guitar and I got up and I sang a song in German and I sang a song in English. And the German one was an Austrian lullaby called Aber Heichi Bum Baichi Bum Bum. So
what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means actually more, it's a lullaby for a little boy called Haichi Bumbaichi. And I think it could mean translated, if you don't go to sleep, I hit you over the head with a boom boom. But so, of course, then came the moment facing the judges. And there was our Bob Rogers, who is still with us.
Yes, he is, yes.
Oh, what a trooper.
Yes.
But he sort of said, Karen, yeah, well, very nice performance, but I must tell you, you know, from my point of view, your German was atrocious.
Oh, that's priceless. A native German speaker.
Oh, and somebody said, I think it was even John, Bob, she is German. And he said, oh, I was only being facetious, but it rendered a little write-up in the Daily Mirror where the journalist then said, like, oh, Mr. Rogers, since you've been in Germany, you've become an expert on all German stuff. And like yesterday with Karen. Well, I can tell you something. Du bist ein Clown, Herr Rogers. Can you translate that? It's a really funny little...
I think Bob was a little bit notorious for putting both feet into it, you know.
He was. But funny memories.
Now, let's talk about, you've been in TV series here in Australia, including Skippy, Homicide, Matlock, Number 96. Tell us about all those.
Well, my first TV with Number 96, it was a lovely 10-week stint after they bombed the building. I came into the deli, which was then run by two Italians, by Giovanni Lenzi and Carlo Lenzi. Giovanni played by the great Harry Michaels, and Carlo was Joseph First, the late Joseph First, who was a international actor. He was even in the James Bond movie Goldfinger. So I came in and I caused a lot of problems, which they expected they brought me out. I should be, Giovanni needs a bride. So they expected this dark-haired coming, oh, Giovanni, see, sono, and in came this blonde bombshell and said, okay, guys, you know, what's happening? And seduced every guy that I could and jewelry story and stuff. And it was a hoot. And since I speak fluent Italian, I was able to pull it off even with the accent. And but
you managed to keep your clothes on in that show, I believe, did you?
Well, this is the interesting part, because people these days, like they go, oh, immediately 96, did she take your key off? And I think, oh no, not in 96, I wasn't allowed, but in hair every night for 3 years. Yay! Oh
gosh, I'm going to ask you about that a bit later on, but continue your story.
Yes, so actually before TV, in regards to just to briefly get back to hair, was so when I actually got into hair. After that, I was in hair Sydney and the Sydney and Melbourne season original on the opening night.
What was that like? What was that like?
That was amazing because suddenly it was like what you see on television when the red carpets get rolled out. The Metro Theatre was lit up and I saw all these people step out of taxis and limousines that I thought, oh my God, they're famous. Oh, there's Sarah Robert Heldman and all the everybody who was everybody. was
Yes.
coming out and making their way to the grand entrance. Now, what is this going to be about? And we performed, and the house just went up, and and then we were told, get ready quickly, get changed, because the opening night party is happening just up the street at the Chevron, I think it was. So we did, and by the time we got there, the party was in full swing inside, but we were not allowed in because we were wearing songs.
Oh,
And the security guard went, nobody allowed in here with songs. And I said, look, excuse me, this is Wayne Matthews. He's actually plays Claude in Hair. He's actually the star of this show. And he went, look, still can't be wearing songs. And then somebody just raced inside and found Harry Miller, who was actually cuddled up in a corner with Shirley Bassey in there, when there's a problem. And so Harry arrived and just told the security guard, you know nothing, and opened the door for us. And then a waiter had this tray with these long glasses full of blue liquid, and it was called the Aquarius cocktail. And so we're going, well, welcome to the Aquarius cocktail, the dawning of the age. And then we just partied, and yeah, it was amazing. Yes. And when we moved to Melbourne, that opening was even bigger, because Harry was allowed now to bring the show to Melbourne after Premier Bolte had said, as long as this F word is in the script, there'll never be a hair in Melbourne. And then when he retired or whatever, suddenly the doors opened. And so Harry gave us this speech on our last night in Sydney, saying things are changing drastically in Melbourne, because in all the 2.5 years here in Sydney, you acquired some not very good habits, because every time you can throw a F-U-C-K in, you actually do, even if you stump your toe. And I'd go, oh. And he said, so for every unauthorized F-U-C-K, you will be fined $2.50. Which is when you only earn $48.20 a week. That hurt a bit. And he was going, because I don't effing care, because this is my baby and I can fire you effing not, I can do it. And there was this lovely, lovely little guy, Teddy, who was just sitting there, and he had just made notes, and suddenly Harry went, hey, Teddy, what are you doing there? And he said, Harry, you have just already been fined, hang on, $52.50 for all your F-U-C-Ks. So that was great.
Oh, that's lovely.
When the cast then moved to New Zealand, I had actually an invitation, would I like to join the cast touring company in Germany? And I went, yeah, well, why not? So as they went to New Zealand, I flew to Germany, hadn't been back since I emigrated. So this was 1972. And I managed on the plane to learn the show in German, especially also since I was actually cast as the lead in there. So to learn Die letzten Sterne, die sind so verliebt, that is the Good Morning Starshine, all in German. So that was great.
The voice is still good, you know.
Thank you. But after 6 months, this show folded. But the producer had another show. She said, look, Karen, I'm going to put you in a show called Godspell in Munich. I went, oh, okay. So I went into Godspell, and lovely cast. And there was this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, vivacious woman with a voice like gold. And she was a chocolate color. And her name was Donna Gaines. And she was engaged to a German actor who was also in Godspell. And his name was Helmut Sommer. And when they got married, Donna Gaines changed her surname to her husband's name, and that is how we got our Donna Summer. Wow. So working with Donna in Godspell before that, and even have a recording of her singing the German Die letzten Sterne. So there we are.
That's a fabulous story. And I believe you have many strings to your bow. I mean, you were up there writing storylines, soaps for various soaps for the Grundy organization in Germany as well.
Yeah, well, it came to a point. I was once complaining that some of the scripts we were getting in Young Doctors, there was only the odd writer where you knew, oh my God, to learn this, because he actually always wrote like people don't talk. So you had to go, oh, and so I went, oh, not him again. And Colin Coleman came up and said, why, what do you got against him? I said, he doesn't write like a writer. And he said, well, do you think you could do better? I said, oh, betcha. So he said, have a go. And so I wrote a sample script, and Alan said, yeah, you're right. You could write better, but we have no opening here. Why don't you send it to Crawford's? So I sent it to Crawford's and got to write a Division 4. And that sort of eased me into the television writing. And then writing for kids shows and always Granny, like Search for Treasure Island was a 20-episode kids show that not available on DVD at the moment because it's tucked away in the archives with lots of other Grundy shows. And the other one was The Artful Dodger. When reality TV came in, Big Brother, and our bread and butter went and was not replaced. So suddenly you went, okay, what now? So I started writing my life story. I thought it's about time to, and the working title being Blood is Thicker Than Cognac. I thought, oh, that's a good start. What's the title? And so with television and film non-existing and concentrating on writing, which also was tremendous with like with the COVID we had, that sitting here, right, it was almost a luxury of saying, my God, I can do what I love, yes, and I'm safe. And
I was going to say, now tell me, do you getting back to the Young Doctors, do you still keep in contact with any of the staff at all, any of the other actors?
Absolutely, because a lot of them live up here at the Central Coast where I live, the Gosford area. We have the lovely Timmy Page, who played Dr. Graham Steele. He runs also a musical society. We have Chris King, the funny and absolutely lovable Chris King, who temporarily was working for the Gosford Council. And I rang him up and I said, Chris, what are you doing with that mob? And he went, only good things. and our, who else is up here? And Diana McLean, I believe you interviewed the lovely Diana.
Yes, she's lovely. Really nice.
She's gorgeous. And for a long time, lovely Judy McBurney, who unfortunately we lost her last year to a dreadful, very dreadful disease. But she lived in Gosford, and so she came. I even had a mini reunion Young Doctors party here with Susan Stewart, played Sister Gibbs, Lewis Howard earlier on. Yeah, it's already in the first collection. Timmy Page, Judy, and we just felt, my God, nothing has changed, and we just happily went. And I believe, and I want to give a big, without Darren Gray, who has been with us for, he created the Young Doctors Appreciation Society back in England 20, 30 years ago. And he followed it, and he wanted to get it out of the archives from Fremantle. And he was just tireless. And because of his success, we are right where we are now. Had he not stayed with it, Young Doctors would be like a blurry recall from the past, where somebody would say, oh, wasn't there something? Oh, wasn't it called? Oh, yeah, there was something with Doctors. But now that he's done the big publicity, we actually find people and fans talking to us, like, because they also did the Facebook site, Young Doctors on DVD, and we all joined, like the cast members. They're going, oh my God, we have Joanne Samuel on board. Didn't she go then and become Mel Gibson's wife in Mad Max? And Susan Richardson, Dr. Susan, who, God, didn't she used to fly balloons in Newcastle? And suddenly what we're doing now. But they're saying, hey, can you tell me? I saw episode 2 and I've got the collection, and I saw something behind you. You were doing something and the set was shaking. Is that true? And Timmy went, oh, they were shaking all the time because our sets were tailored. They were kind of, yes. And we sweated a lot because we had no air conditioning. And every time when somebody, they started recording, then somebody said, no, hold it. We have a shining star. And so the makeup lady used to come out, the stop tape, and used to powder down the shining star, which, by the way, her name was Pat Hutchins, and she was the mother of Michael Hutchins of the In Excess fame. And then it continued, but the wardrobe lady, because we were sweating through our costumes in one go, so I had to wash, dry, iron, but then people came in and helped. But one day we saw this truck, and out of the truck they loaded ice, containers of ice, and we went, yes, thank you. And they turned around and said, it's not for you, Mop, it's for the cameras, they're overheating.
Oh, look, Karen, it's been lovely. Thank you very much for giving up of your valuable time. I've really enjoyed talking to you here today. We might just finish up. Do you want to give a plug for the box set of the Young Doctors? And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, John. Hi, you can get Collection 1, JB Hi-Fi, Amazon. You can get it worldwide, but please, and look, it's getting on to Christmas time. What better thing to put in the Christmas stocking or all the birthdays? Because we still need to support this and buy as many as we can. Otherwise, they're not going to be in episode 333 for more.
Look, Karen, thank you so much for spending the time. I've really enjoyed talking with you.
I enjoyed it so much too. Thank you.